Hello, welcome to the new video of Dynasty War, and today we're going to talk about enhancing skill or not, but it's a little bit more special video because I'm going to be comparing to 777 Amulet Hero, which is a lot of people that want to get and always ask about which one is better. So obviously the first one is Machinist, and I have talked about her individually before, and Lady is the other one that I'm going to talk about today, which I also made a video about leveling up her skill as well. There is a third 777, but we're not gonna focus on talking about him yet because there's still a lot of changes and things that will be done to him in the future. So just a reminder, Machinist will release 3 cards that explode and do area damage. Awakening skill increases her range, which make her move and behave similar to an archer hero. However, Lady's skill will attack 5 different targets, single targeted, will freeze them and do a bunch of damage, plus the awakening skill that will do even more damage. So let's take a look and compare them to see which one is a better or stronger or easier to use, more accessible hero, and which one you should be aiming for, because there's still a lot of time until the next God of Wealth Amulet event, and you still have time to choose which one is a better option for you. Okay, so let's take a look over here. I have the basic stats of both of them, both Machinist and Lady. At 10 out of 10, Machinist does 1400 damage per card, and then Lady does 1200 damage. At 15 out of 15, which is the Awakened maximum maxed out version, Machinist 1800 per card, and then Lady does 1500. So you can see the improvement. Over the 5 level, you get 400 more damage per card. It's pretty decent, I think. Even in my previous video, I think it's a pretty good deal. In here, the 300 extra damage is not very good deal because half of it comes from the 10 extra level. However, you do need to get it up to 15 and 15 because you do get 2 more seconds of freeze time, and that is more valuable than the little extra damage per target that you get here. Now cooldown is pretty simple. Lady is 12 second, Machinist is 15 second. Lady obviously has a better deal. 12 second is like the base, pretty much the pretty fast cooldown. Cooldown it's pretty important, especially both of them rely on their passive skill heavily. Machinist has 4364 HP and 565 DPS, while Lady has only 3513 HP and 515 damage DPS. As a fan hero, Machinist always are going to have higher stats than Lady. And remember, I think I talked about this in some other videos. Both of these 700, I think all 777 heroes have higher HP and DPS than any other heroes in their corresponding type. Except for Machinist, she does not have the highest HP in the fan type. I think Charming Dao Chan has more HP than this. But in terms of DPS, she has the highest DPS in the fan hero type. And Lady, well, there's only 4 archer hero. She has the highest HP and DPS out of the 4. So these are pretty very high number already. Now the range, as an archer hero, Lady has 5. Machinist has only 3 for a fan hero, but her awakening skill can get her up to 4.8, which is pretty close to 5, and she will behave kind of like a archer hero. Now partnership, Machinist is easier to get because she only needs Zhuge and then a 6-star hero that costs, I think, 100 something amulet. So if you're gonna save up for 707 for Machinist, make sure you save up another 145-ish to get the 6-star hero. And Zhuge, most people have it. It's only one unparalleled hero. If you're lucky, you get it 1 time. If you're unlucky, it takes 30 times. Lady, however, needs 2 unparalleled heroes, Lubu and Heroine. Again, if you're lucky, well, at best, you need 2 times, 1 for each. And if you're really unlucky, you need 60 times. So it's a lot of variance can happen in here. And Zhuge, a lot of people go for Zhuge the first time for the first hero. So it's almost guaranteed that you will satisfy at least that partnership. And the 6-star one is pretty relatively easy to get because there's no variance. You just save up. Even if you can't save up the first time, the next event, you definitely will save up 140 something amulet to exchange for that. However, Lady, it's different because both Lubu and Heroine is unparalleled hero. You need to depend on luck and chance to get them. Heroine, a lot of people start saying that Heroine should be your first hero to get. I don't disagree, but I don't agree as well. But Heroine is good, so you might want to get her. So Lady will be perfect. However, Lubu is pretty weak, and I still think he is extremely weak. He really relies on Hero Seal right now, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. So let's move over here and talk about their skill attributes. What is their skill, okay? And how much investment do we need? And I've talked about this in both individual videos on them. Machinists have a really low investment. You started with 1465 at 10 out of 15 already. If you get the 5 extra level, you get 400 more damage per card. Great. But do you really need to level up her awakening skill? Not really. You get 3 point something already once you awaken her, and that's pretty much it. And if you don't want to level up her main skill, that's fine. Couple more 100 damage. You don't have to get it up to 15 out of 15. You can leave it at any level you want, 11 out of 15, 12 out of 15, because each time you level it up, you get 80 more damage, I believe. Yeah, 80 more. So it'll be fine at any point, so that you don't really need it. But however, Lady, it's very high investment. You need to get it up to 15 and 5 out of 5. You get it up to 15 out of 15 is not because of the damage, because of the freeze time. Getting to 6 seconds is extremely important, especially your cooldown is already very short. So getting an extra freeze time for your enemy, give yourself an extra 1 second, 2 seconds to recover for your skill. And then the awakening skill is also very important. It's not like you can stop at 4 or 5. You can't. You have to go up to 5 or 5 to get 25% maximum HP as damage. That really helps you kill Hero. And Lady, that's what she does. If you don't have it, it's always just a little bit more damage. You just need a little bit more damage. So for Lady, her skill investment is extremely high. Now, the other thing is the skill type. Machinist does area damage, and Lady only does single targeted. So that's a key thing that you have to keep in mind. The total damage, which is just 3 cards, they equals 5,600, and then the Lady damage will be 1,500 times 5, because she does the attack 5 different targets. Now, these total damage is not really the total, because there are a lot of stuff that we can't account for. For example, Machinist, it does area damage. So if 1 or 2 or all cards attack multiple target, this damage goes up by multiples. Lady, again, we did not account for the damage from the maximum health of the enemy hero. But if your Lady attack 5 buildings, this is the actual damage off of 15 out of 15, because the awakening skill only takes a max the 25% from a hero. Okay, from the hero's HP, doesn't take it off from buildings, because it specifically says when it attacks enemy hero, they will take 25% of their maximum HP, which also caps at 2,500. So at most you can hit 4 heroes with the 5 arrow. So it's always single target, but keep in mind that that might be something that you want. Now the range is also important, because Machinists basically have infinite range once she activated her skill. Her cards just keep going, go from top to bottom of the battle, and they will disappear. They have a time limit. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think they're fast enough to travel across the whole battlefield. And Lady, her skill is pretty big. I think it's around like 10-ish tiles. I don't exactly know, but the other 4 arrows that is not her targeted, because it tells you that Lady will target 1 hero or one target, and then 4 more will attack nearby. Now the nearby is around 6 to 7 tiles that I have counted before, but from herself to her target, it's approximately like 10-ish. I'm not sure exactly, but it's far enough to overcome a lot of other heroes' skill. So that's another thing that you can keep in mind. The priority is that Machinists focus for defenses first, and then anything else. Lady will target heroes first, and then defensive structures, and then anything else. The skill time, which is again another very important part, Machinist is instant. What that means is once she triggers her skill, it's there. You can't lose it. The card spawns, and they will be there, and they will do damage, even when Machinists die. So that's the that's a very important part of her skill. However, Lady has a travel time. How long is this skill time depends on the travel time, depends on how far your target is. Because once she trigger her skill, if she dies before the arrow hits, the skill is gone. Just like Lubu and many other heroes, there is a travel time for their skill. So it depends on how far your enemy is. If your enemy is close, then this travel time is shorter, and your damage will be applied, and she might be able to save her life. But if the enemy is far away and she dies before the arrow hits, then she loses her skill, and you don't have it. Now the reaction, this is more on defense. Both of them will have an instant reaction, meaning once they get hit on defense, they will use their skill immediately because they have pretty far range, and they will be able to react immediately. Some heroes do not know how to react, or they react slower, or just their skill is not far enough so that they can't do anything. Now the awakening skill give Machinist more range, but it give Lady more damage. So again, that is why that a Lady has a much higher investment. So right here I listed the specialty, which is what I think is more important in both of their skill, and this is what you should be looking for when you try to get these hero. Because if this is not the thing that you want, this is probably not the hero that you want, that you need. Machinist, I wrote down multiple concentrated damage. What does concentrated damage mean? It means that all the damage from her skill can be applied to a single target, meaning 5,600 damage. Any unit, any target, any building can take all these damage if they need it. So what that means is the 3 cards can be blowing up at the same target. 5,600 damage due to one target. Usually this is on defense because the hero that they have to face will take up all the damage. Multiple is the keyword here. I mean, the keyword is multiple and concentrated. Multiple meaning 5,600 damage can be dealt to more than one enemy, more than one hero, and that's extremely valuable because you can multiply these number by 2, by 3, by 4, and by however many. Now I always see this. Okay, I don't always do this to other people. I always experience this myself when I use my 4 sword heroes, or even 3 sword hero right now. Guan Yu, Ma Chao, Zhao Yun, and Jiang Wei. They all jump into the enemy base with some Tiger Warriors, heavy cavalry, whatever. Machinists will be able to use all 3 of our cards on my Guan Yu, Ma Chao, Zhao Yun, whatever. Now, if they're sword heroes, they can tank the damage, and I think I've talked about this before. I don't really care because it's a lot of damage, but they're sword heroes, so they can tank. They do lose like basically half of their HP, even sometimes with Ma Chao's mitigation. Of course, if you have the Guan Yu's mitigation, it doesn't do much because it took out 80% of the damage already. But it still is very significant amount. Any troops will die. Any troops in that area will die. And it's already, over a couple tens of 20, maybe 20 to 30,000 damage applied to all 4 of my heroes and multiple troops. Obviously, there is a limit to how many units the card explosion can do, but it's definitely around more than 4 because I know that happened to me multiple times. And that's very annoying because basically, even though my sword heroes are tanky, they lose half of their HP already. So this is just one case. Other troops, they can soak. I mean, my sword heroes can soak up the damage, but if you don't have sword hero or shield hero, they will just die because they will take all 5,600 damage. And that can be dealt to multiple units. So at the end of the day, that is a very strong skill that can be applied to many units on defense, even on offense. For example, I mean, people like to put Purgatory Tower or Thunder Formation next to or behind storage because storage have high HP, and then if you just attack there, you have to destroy the storage first and then get to the tower. Machinists, the cards will focus on the defensive structures, and because of the area damage, they can do maybe 1,800 or 3,600 or even 5,600 damage to the Purgatory Tower and the storage beside it, and blow up the cover as well and make it easier. So the multiple concentrated damage is so valuable, and that's why she is strong. If you need that, Machinist is the hero that you want. However, Lady is a little bit different. As we talk about, this 7,500 damage is applied to 5 different targets, plus a little bit more depending on if you're attacking heroes or not and your awakening skill. So it is multiple targets. and it's utility plus damage. So the utility comes from the freezing. So if you don't need to blow up a bunch of people at the same time, and you want to freeze them and do more damage to individual targets, but multiple of them, then Lady is the option to go. And mainly this is focused on killing hero, because you can also stop the hero. That's where the utility comes from. It freezes the hero. See, machinists do a lot of damage, but if you have sword hero or shield hero, it doesn't matter because they can tank the damage. They can tank all of these. For archer hero and fan hero, both of these doesn't really matter. They will probably die within, if not the skill, right after the skill they will die. But for sword hero and shield hero, Lady is made to destroy those heroes because first she can take the 25% of the maximum health as damage, and freezing them for 6 seconds, meaning they can't do anything except standing here and get killed. So basically it just breaks down to these two things. So, but let's take a look at more detailed in-depth analysis on these two heroes. Okay, so let's take a look at the treasure. I rarely talk about treasure, but it's important here because sometimes heroes depends on treasure, depends on hero seal, depends on partnership. That's why I first talk about partnership, because it should be the easiest thing to get. At least if you try, you will get. Treasure is it's different. It's quite difficult to get the things that you want. But here it's the 25% extra HP. You see the HP that they have at the end. DPS, machinists get a 25% from treasure. Lady can get 36% because archer hero gets 36% increased damage. So as you can see, it's pretty close to the DPS of machinist. But I mean, 700 for archer hero is pretty high. HP is relatively low. I mean, that's all archer hero. Attack speed, fan hero has 36% attack speed, while archer hero can only get up to 25%. So this is the amount of time it takes to attack once. So it takes 0.74 seconds for machinist to attack if you have the 36% increase in attack speed. And it will take 0.8 seconds to attack once for Lady. Rage, they can both get the 10-second rage. Pretty good for both of them because they are relying on passive skill. And if you start, obviously this only applies to the start of battle. Lady will have to wait for 2 seconds. Machinist will have to wait for 5 seconds to attack. If you're on defense, doesn't matter, 5 seconds, your enemy can't really come in and kill your machinist before 5 seconds of the battle. So either way, both of them on defense will have the ability to use for defense. But on attack, on offense, Lady definitely needs only 2 more seconds. Now the regenerate, it's the 16% regeneration per auto attack. They're pretty close, 113 to 112, because their DPS is extremely close. What that corresponds to their maximum HP is on here. So 113 is 2.1% of this HP, 112 is 2.6% of their maximum HP. 2%, 2-point-ish%, it doesn't seem a lot, but think about it. If they're auto attacking maybe 5 times, they basically recover 10% of their HP. Pretty often, I mean, when they start to attack a wall by themselves, it takes about 5-6 times. So they can start recovering some HP at that point. Obviously, 100 something regeneration, something 100 HP can't even take like one archer tower one archer tower hit, but it's still something in the long run, maybe, because they don't really have extremely high attack speed, nor they don't have extremely high DPS. The right here, regeneration per second, it's really just take this number and divide it by the attack speed, which is just seeing, okay, how much, if they keep auto attacking, how much HP can they recover per second. Obviously, Lady is gonna have a higher one. I mean, these numbers might not really apply to you because you might not even want this treasure, or maybe you have this treasure and you don't really know how much of an effect it is really doing to your hero. And here it is. You can see that to me, I don't think it's that important because it's not a lot. You might as well better save like a healer or 2 for them. That might be better because this only applies when they're auto attacking. If they're walking or not auto attacking, then you don't have this. But obviously the 10-second rage is important. The HP is important. DPS I don't think is as important because you won't really use them to auto attack that much. You really want their skill because something like Heroine, okay, the DPS, the 36% DPS is important because she auto attacks. Her skill enable her to auto attack, And because for that reason, the regeneration for her is important because she auto attack very quickly. Lady, this is not the case, so I don't think half of the attributes are needed for the treasure. So treasure requirement is not that high. It's just probably HP, maybe attack speed for machinists, and rage for 10 seconds. I mean 9 seconds is good. Now the next thing is Hero Seal. Hero Seal is still pretty new in the game, I would say. So this is the red Hero Seal base HP. So all red Hero Seal will have these attributes for Fan Hero and for Archer Hero. Fan Hero obviously has a little bit more DPS and HP than Archer Hero. Not a lot. And I didn't really calculate too much on these because I don't know what the maximum amount you can have. I assume you can get like 300 something percent for both HP and DPS if you really maxed it out. So that in that case you have maybe like around 1,000, a couple 100 to 200. This is the attribute that you can get, and it will be randomized, and these are the highest number. If you can get basically the best Hero Seal in terms of just the HP and DPS, I will guess both of them will have HP about 2,000 and then DPS around 200 to 300. That's my guess. I'm not sure. If you guys know, you can let me know. But I didn't really do too much calculation on these because it really depends on what you have. And it's quite difficult to get your platform to give you that percentage boost. But what's probably more important in the earlier game is the star attribute. So there's two star attribute for each of these heroes that they can get. So for machinists, you really want the 30% HP and damage for units that they spawn, because machinist skills spawn the cards. This attribute will be applied to them. 30% extra HP. I don't know how much HP that they have, but it's always better to have more HP, right? 30% is a big amount as well. The damage is really what's important. 2400. It goes from 1800 to 2400. Basically 600 more damage per card. So instead of 5,600 damage total, you can go up to 7,200 damage in total with the 3 cards. Again, area damage. So it could go up even higher if you want to think about total damage. The other thing is the gaining 10 seconds of rage when your HP is below 20% HP. That's another good one for both of them because they rely on the passive skill. And what's 20% HP? 20% HP is 872 for machinists. It's just this number. Obviously, if you have Hero Seal, it's going to be a little bit more, but at most, I'm assuming you can only go up to maybe around 1,000 HP. So what does 1,000 HP do for you? 1,000 HP, you cannot stand a single hit from Sword Hero, nor any damaging skill. So you are pretty easy to die once you reach this point, so you want to be able to use your skill immediately. If not, you can die easily because you just don't have a lot of HP left, okay, at most 1,000. So for Lady, you want the 30% extra damage on skill, which will bring her 1,500 to 1,900, 450 more damage. It's not really a lot. Obviously, you have 5 arrows. At first, I don't think this attribute applied to Awakening skill, but however, someone did a test and told me that it will. However, I find something not complete in the test is that his calculated damage from the Awakening skill is like 1,700, and then the actual damage was 2,100, 2,200, something like that. Which, yes, it means that the attribute actually applied to Awakening skill, but it didn't cross the threshold of 2,500, which is listed on the skill. It says that's the maximum. So I don't know how they calculate the damage. There's 2 ways to calculate. If they calculate the damage before capping it, then the 2,500 cap will still be there. You cannot raise the Awakening damage over 2,500. But if they calculate this after the cap, that means you can bring the Awakening damage out and over the 2,500 cap. So the difference is it will still be helpful because you don't need to get to 5 out of 5 to be able to do 2,500 damage, extra damage. But if it does cap it, then once you're at 5 out of 5, it's useless because you can easily get to 2,500. But it's still useful. If it is not capped at 2,500, that means you can get 750 more damage because 2,500 plus another percent will be 3,250 damage. That's a lot, way more damage dealt to a single hero. So it is pretty good if that could be applied to the awakening skill, which I'm not sure how they calculate things yet. But again, it's still a good one because 1900 damage to any other buildings is still better than 1500. But there might be a better choice, which is again 10-second rage once you reach 20% HP or less. So 20% HP for lady will be 700. Again, calculated from here, you can get more. Probably at most you can get to 1000. Again, it's pretty easy to die if you have under 1000 HP. But it helps a lot because you get, you basically can use your skill again 2 seconds extra, and then you can use your skill. So if you have a couple seconds already, you can use your skill immediately. Now, the last section in here is just some other random stuff that you might consider. This is, can Lubu kill them in one single fireball? And this calculation might be wrong, again, because for the same reason. I don't know the skill damage, the extra skill damage, does that apply to Lubu's awakening skill? Because if it does, it will be definitely easier to kill both Machinist and Lady. But the current calculation is assuming that the extra skill damage does not apply to Lubu's awakening skill. And if that's the case, Lubu will need 45.1% extra damage to kill Machinist, which is impossible because the most you can get is 30%. However, he only needs 13% extra damage to kill Lady with this HP, 4,300. So it's pretty easy to still kill Lady in one single hit. And that's very important because on defense, if your hero dies before they can use the skill, then that means nothing. They die already. The worst thing is even Zhao Yun can kill Lady with a 30% attribute skill damage. So this might happen on offense or defense, and it sucks if that's the case. Obviously, Zhao Yun can kill a Machinist with only 3,300 base damage. Zhang Liao, how many strikes does Zhang Liao takes to kill Machinist and Lady? This is the first 7 strike and 6 strike, and then it only takes the last 5 or last 4 strikes to kill them respectively, because obviously the later strikes do more damage. And this is important as well because think about Zhang Liao only has 10 strikes, and if he somehow randomly, good timingly hit your Lady at the last 4 strikes, your Lady is gone. On both offense and defense, again, you can still see Zhang Liao on offense or defense, and he is really good for killing hero. So to hit Machinist 7 times compared to 6 times or 5 times compared to 4 times will let you see how easy your hero can die when Zhang Liao attack them. And the next thing is Crescent, right? New hero will reduce your rage as well as attacking you. It will take at least 7 hit for Crescent to kill Machinist and 6 hit to kill Lady. This is an interesting point comparing or again with the hero seal in mind, because if Machinist can take 6 hit from Crescent, that's 6 second reduce. So Machinist will need 11 second rage, reduce 6 seconds, that's 5, and then gain 10 seconds, that could be 15. And then Machinist can use her skill. Now, once Machinist uses a skill, as I talked about it earlier, her skill time is instant. The card is out there, and the card might be able to revenge her, might be able to kill Crescent and do some more damage to other troops. But Machinist will definitely die because there's no way Machinist can stop Crescent from doing the 7th attack. However, Lady is different. Lady, she only needs 7 second cooldown, 7 second rage, reduce 5, that's 2, gain 10, that's 12, and she can use her skill. That's like the worst possible case. Now, if Crescent is close enough, Lady can freeze him in time and survive and not get hit by the last attack. Okay, this is what I'm assuming right now. They're still changing Crescent as we speak today. So there is a chance that Lady can help herself and save herself. But if not, if her arrow cannot reach Crescent in time, Crescent will take completely no damage and just kill Lady. So that's the difference. Machinist can at least guarantee some damage, not saving her life. No way she can do that. But she can, maybe her card can revenge her and do more damage. But Lady, it's like either you get all or you get nothing. Again, right here, next one, Heroine. It takes 2.84 seconds to kill Machinist at just a basic Heroine, 15 out of 15 Heroine, and takes 2.29 seconds. Again, Machinist cannot save herself, but her cards might be able to revenge her. Lady, there is a chance that Lady's arrow can reach Heroine before Heroine kill Lady. So she can save herself and instead kill Heroine in that time. But if you have a treasured damage and attack speed Heroine, then it only takes 1.96 seconds to kill Machinist. So Machinist is a better deal right here because yes, she's gonna die, but at least the 3 cards will spawn and be able to kill Heroine back. Here 1.58 seconds, there's no way Lady can use her skill and reach Heroine in 1.58 seconds. Especially Heroine will be 8.5 tiles away from Lady. This seems very unreasonable that it will happen. The next thing is, just Zhuge Liang. Who doesn't have Zhuge Liang, right? Everyone uses Zhuge Liang. Machinist will die with 5 strikes, so it will use up his whole skill. Now, if you have Hero Seal, Zhuge Liang cannot kill Machinist in 5 hit, except if Zhuge Liang has the damage increase, the 30% increase in skill damage, then it will only take 4 hits to do as much damage in here. And it will take only 4 and 3 hits from Lady. I mean, this is very common. Zhuge Liang, you will see Zhuge Liang in offense or defense. If he uses his skill first before Lady, your Lady is gone. And Zhuge Liang always target Hero when there's Hero in range. So pretty much if your Lady get targeted by Zhuge Liang, she's gonna die for sure. And again, her skill might not be able to reach Zhuge Liang in time. Machinist might be able to use her card once more, or even might be able to survive. So again, conclusion is Machinist is definitely a better and a safer choice, more guarantee defense and damage, and Lady would be a high investment, high risk, high reward hero. So it really depends on how you want to play, right? There's no better, best hero as of right now. But this is it for this video. I'm gonna go back to start farming for my for beads to level up my Lady, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.